Hello, everyone. Oh, wait, first I have to do the obligatory smile so we can have a good screenshot. Okay, welcome to Stone Soup Poetry, all open mic, marking and ending the 1 month celebratory open mics for Stone Soup Poetry for its 51st anniversary. No stars, but hopefully the stars will be coming out to the locations. Hopefully Carol Weston and Jim Dunn will be making an appearance before the summer really kicks in. And hopefully more people are going to be announced. I know people want to do it. I know people are trying to get back behind a live open mic, and we will hopefully have the means to do it after this week. So thank you guys all for your patience. Thanks to Carol for joining us and Laurel Lambert by a phone. And one of them will be speaking very shortly. But first, let's see how the connection's doing over at this man's private Idaho. Or is it Iowa you're at? Anyway, we are...
Idaho.
It is Idaho. Okay, so my B-52's reference is relevant. So let us welcome up Mr. Bill Lewis.
Hello, fellow human beings. How is my audio?
This is the best I've heard you come from in Idaho.
Okay, let me try this.
You must have plugged into a potato. We can hear you perfectly, and no sketchy video. This is great.
Does that work better?
About the same, really good.
Oh wait, I didn't turn it on, did I? Built-in microphone.
You're good. We can hear you.
Now does it work better?
I think so.
Oh, well, I spent all this time to bring this darn thing with me, so it darn well better be good. Oh. So I am really happy I'm out here in Priest River, Idaho. I'm using my brother's garage because it's too noisy inside and too cold outside. Hey, Sandy. And this is my brother. So I'm supposed to do something poetic. Mud, mud, dirt, and mud. Oh, it pleases my soul. It makes me happy to dig, to see the worms squirming here and there and separate them from the clods of grass that I tear out, but carefully saving those worms, putting them back in the ground where they belong so they will be happy and build me a great garden. I shall have a glorious garden, the most beautiful garden you have ever seen. Oh, I am so excited, and digging in the dirt fills my heart, my soul with joy and pleasure, and knowing that when those vegetables come to fruition, that I and my brother and my family shall be the beneficiaries of my hard and sweaty work. So mud, my friends, mud is all that we are made of. From mud were we born, and until mud shall we be. But until that time, let us rejoice and love our mud and our worms. And now I'm really tired because I just got out of the garden digging and I'm still muddy.
Take 5, Bill, and thanks so much. Looks like more people are coming in. We welcome them all. And we're going to move on to our first phone participant. We have some people joining us by phone. They can't see us. They can hear us, but we can't see them, but we will hear them in just a moment as soon as I unmute her. You know her from many an open mic. She was first selected by Sophia Marshall to become the first ever Stone Soup Saver Jack Powers Poetry Prize. So let us welcome her now, Laurel. You are coming up, and hopefully this is enough time. Yeah, yes. Wait 1 second. She's communicating through a second line. Yes, Laurel? Okay, so I'm about to unmute you in 5, 4, 3, 2, and Laurel Lambert is now up.
Chad,
Yes.
How much time do I have?
Give yourself about 3 to 4 minutes.
3 or 4 minutes?
That's right.
Hi, my name is Laurel Lee Lambert. I am an artist and a poet. I am going to do a free verse off of the top of my head. Hopefully, it'll be a good one. I was walking blindfolded up a mountain when I was young. Now I am almost blind in my right eye from cataracts. I like to wade in the ocean and walk barefoot in the wet sand and leave footprints. I was lost once, and now I'm found. Just trying to make my way through the universe with red and purple balloons. The colors are crying. So many tears. And there is a dust rag under the sink. A sock. A mismatched sock. The music plays on, and I stand alone. I remain alone. Forever and into eternity. Flying backwards in a black hole. My biggest fear. Thank you. And I'm just going to do a very short one that I wrote a long time ago. There was a war, and you lived with only one scar. Your gravestone. Chad, do I have time for a quick one?
Go ahead.
Butterfly, butterfly, burning bright. Where will you sleep tonight? Oh, wait, I'm an oak leaf, my dear. Have no fear. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Laurel. I'm going to put you on mute again. Everyone's doing the applause and the jazz hands, just so you know. And I will, we'll see you around. Hope maybe we'll see you for the second round of the round robin. We're all going twice. So let me.
Yeah, I'm going to try to stay for a while.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay. So now we're going back to our wayward travelers. One half of our wayward travelers who were gone for 6 weeks. We're glad they're back. Let's welcome up Jan Rowe with her piece for this week. Whoops, looks like I muted you by accident. There you go.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry for the delay. This is a draft. I read it at open mic yesterday at Black Seed Writers. This is called Disbarred, but finally off house arrest. Steve Donziger is finally off years of house arrest after USA, our government declined to prosecute. Chevron began persecuting him, and even one of the legislators, adult children's a lawyer for Chevron. Well, anyway, Donziger found Chevron guilty of non-stop gushing oil pollution in Nigeria and Ecuador. They could have just paid the fine. It would have been cheaper to pay the $8 billion. Also, Donziger refused some sources to say. So the gushing oil leaks poisoning the Amazon River reminds of when the Horizon oil rig blew up and nearly a dozen died. The oil corporation had claimed they could cap that well in 4 hours, but 4 days later, a lawyer from Antonin Lascalia, the law school, says Donziger is despicable and deserves his double disbarment. But consider the source. Scalia had executed people innocent of murder. So the VA Chevron workers, Virginia Chevron workers have been on strike since the first day of spring. And Chevron makes it $6 billion last year, but they're locking out the California workers, refusing to negotiate. And that's how I found out that Steve Donziger is off house arrest because he was out at the California site. Thank you.
Thank you, Jan. And the Randomator 5000 has chosen our next open mic participant. He's going under the name Magister Galt, but we know him as Ed Galt or Edward S. Galt, frequent contributor to Oddball and the open mic of Stone Soup in its many forms. Let's welcome him up right now.
Thank you very much. This is called classmates.com. And goes this. I came across our old yearbook sitting in the attic like an old book of lore, telling the tales of the legends we all thought ourselves to be. Your photo stares back at me from the yellow page, back then so white. I wonder how that happened, how we all got to where we are now. People with 3 decades old yearbooks that accuse us of being ancient when we are the same as we were then, except that so much has happened, and despite everything, I became my father anyway. All the same, I like to think I turned out different, that I carry it differently than he did. But maybe not. Ask my daughter about it sometime. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ed. And let us now move on. Let's see who the Randomator 5000 has chosen now. And we're going to go now. I'm going to ask him to unmute Mr. Chris Fitzgerald. If you are ready and willing, we are able to listen. Uh-oh. Chris, are you there? Whoa, you came in a little garbled there.
Now, can you hear me?
Yes,
I'm not clear at all.
you're clear right
I'm
now.
clear.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I sent 3 TLA poems to 2 magazines. One of them wanted to see something else of mine. And this is it's going to be one poem at the end. I'm just going to read the letter I sent because this encapsulates the last 6 years anyways.
Chris Fitzgerald jumps in and out of reality all the time. He'll be back in the Matrix in no time. He's our Neo. As a matter of fact, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Our Chris Fitzgerald is very slow today. Okay, hopefully he'll come back. I'm not sure what, geez, I mean, sometimes he jumps out, but he jumps, here he is. He's only 10 seconds late.
Trust you understand. If you don't, I don't care what your mother said. Vacuum cleaner salesman, encyclopedia salesman are going to be booming tomorrow. Make your move now. Poetry, like Betty Davis's old age, it's not for sissies. You can be a sissy and still be a I couldn't take a chance of hurt hands. I mean, I would not have missed Stolen, Rowan, and the occasional crossword. But all rest, all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fitzgerald. You can mute yourself. That
So
would be,
that was
you're coming in a little garbled now, but mute yourself and see if you can reposition yourself. Maybe we'll be able to, it'll probably be better the second time around. That's usually what happens anyway as the night progresses. Happens to my Wi-Fi too. So please mute yourself, Chris, and we're going to move on to the next person. Oops, and that will be, let's bring up Kathleen Hulser. Whoops, looks like you have to unmute yourself. I might have muted you by accident.
Is it okay now?
Yep.
Now? Yeah. Okay. So I'll read something I wrote last week, the week before. It's called Stain. Sadness is the old sweatshirt stained with doubt, comfortably draped over breast and belly. Ragged cuffs, softened and washed, cannot chafe the wrist or mind. When you wear it, you cannot see it. The faded fleece hides messages, letters rinsed away, leaving only a faint tracery of the past. Knit of deep notes which mimic inner oscillations, equally apportioned between somber and bright. That's it. That's all.
Thank you very much. And we're going to head over now. The Ramdonator 5000 has selected Mr. John Wesick to be next. It's always an honor to be picked by a machine.
Oh, I love the machines, actually. Yes, much better than human beings. Democracy is under attack. Quick, disarm! Who will protect us when the Proud Boys take over? Flak vests, teardrop glasses, their bodies buff with intimidation. The cops who murder black men, maybe the officer who ran over BLM protesters and bragged. The feds who fled Cliven Bundy's rifles, a cowboy hat, the only difference between dead on the pavement and a guest spot on Fox News. Who will protect us? The prosecutors who bungled the Mauler Wildlife Refuge takeover trial, the president who wanted the army to shoot protesters in the legs, the attorney general who cowers before coup leaders, the politicians who bend their knees at CPAC to strongman Orban's censorship, martial law, and great replacement theory. I'll keep my guns, thanks. I'd rather face a neo-Nazi with a rifle in my hands than with your lame slogans on my lips.
Thank you, Mr. Wesick. And let's see who the Ramdonator has chosen yet. Are you an Excel sheet Randonator? No. Okay, it says no. Won't divulge any more information. Let's bring up Mr. Julian Powers. Did I say Mr.? I meant Ms. Julian. Or was I trying to say Mrs. and I realized I don't know if you're married or not, just screwed up. Okay, so Julian Powers, legacy poet. Let's hear.
Thanks, Ted. Are you able to hear me okay? Thanks. Okay. Marked a boulder with my name. He made paths for me to take. I followed them. Out into the wild, alone, with a whistle around my neck. Would look for blackberries, play with the clay dirt, visit the well way out there. I would climb into it. It was surrounded by mudlands and dying white birches that would crumble when I touched them. Next to this small pond, I would skate on, during the winter, a small wonderland, until it was sold and all bulldozed. Thanks.
Memories. Okay, excellent. And we're going to go to our second and final phone participant for this first round of the round robin. We're going to turn the mute off, and we're going to hear from someone who I should have called last week, but I totally forgot to in my rush. I only realized that after I went over the video. So my apologies to her, and my thanks to her for joining us tonight. Let's welcome up Miss Carol Weston.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
Okay, so Linda Parker Crane, she was a healer in Gloucester. And on her door, which is downstairs from me, it said UFO. And when the poet Robert Kelly was coming up the stairs, he said, "What is in there?" And it was Linda Crane. Her bare foot in the birthday cake of her 23rd year. She who was born in Duxbury became Miss Duxbury to make the money to buy the heavy diving gear she needed. In Cambridge, her blonde hair in luminous strands spread in the candlelight among the lobster pots of her apartment. She walks alone, who is a gatherer of people. In Gloucester, 10 kettles steam on her stove. The pots and pans are singing, the knives are shining, the bread is baking. She cooks the kelp for us. She gathered it while swimming in the mountainous waves that sometimes heave her on the rock. In her shamanic work, the spirits shake her body, her drum the center of healing. Over our journeying bodies, outstretched under drum beak, Linda's wild call cuts the air, summoning the spirits from north, south, east, and west to come and move our limbs to dance the animals inside us. She, who imperceptibly is dying, leads us into visions. Linda, sleep under the reindeer skin you brought from north of the Arctic Circle when you hiked 9 days with your shaman Sami friend Ilu. In pain, you die in laughter. In your bare skin, you crawl across the floor. Your last words, everything is changing. Linda, we follow your leaping and perceptive foot. The deer of your being dance through the wolves of your death.
Thank you, Carol. And we are getting to the getting our penultimate and final readers of the first round of round robin. Let's go now. So glad he was able to join us. Let's welcome up Mr. CCR Chagra.
Okay, hi.
Hello.
I understand that what's happening right now in our world called media, that yet again we're being pulled apart as humans on Earth with what could be about children and families, and instead it's about what side are you on. Not good, except for politicians who always never miss a good crisis. So try to stay off the chessboard as far as that goes. I'm going to read just a couple little 4-line poems, and then I'm going to dedicate this old one called Functionalism number 34 from an old manuscript project, and dedicate that to the kids. Soul navigation understands all dying time, and I will never harm love itself. And I do always die, for you are the opening of here now. Total honesty's apology, and the unwasted soul lives. Never wield a contrived false apology. Do not appease love with a lie. Abandon your ego and control no pride. Righteous tears and safety can kill your own soul life. Thoughts of reality can cripple your truth. As your mind's organ is cast in plaster, your genuine heart trapped alone to escape true. Honesty's hand holds a hammer smashing time. And for the kids, this has got a sort of a subtitle. It's old. I don't know. It's from 2011. Oh, twinkle little what to say. Oh, twinkle little what to say as words fall like the rain will play and drop to call. You are a soul. Oh, twinkle, twinkle, here we go. To matters matter, touching you. Now that was fun. To questions blow the sights and sound ideas around. By beauty leaves the tree, you see, we twinkle like a feather's light to catch the understanding flight on what defines our gravity, to find each last breath freed. Get off the chessboard. Just thought I'd throw that in there.
Thank you, Cece.
Okay.
And now, to close us out for this first round, let's bring us to the also recently returned, the regular columnist for Oddball Magazine. Check out It's All One Thing. Publishes without fail every Thursday at 11 in the morning. I bring you Mr. James Van Looy.
Hi, Chad. So I've got a poem here called Bookends. Bookends usually feature the same motif, but in reverse mirror image. And in history, the end of last crisis becomes the prophecy of the next, which by the forgetting of generations makes what was so deeply impressed by the horrors of the prior monster man slowly lose its impact, washed away by time, until all the bad behavior of gangsta past is just part of the woodwork, and the wallpaper is splattered with blood and the guts of people slow heated to boil again, as the system systemizes it all. The same old story, never again, never again. Indeed, that will never happen, they say, over and over again, to what simply needs done, as the center pumps out life's blood to the imperial periphery, while the infrastructure of family values is raped and pillaged and ignored to death, so nothing works. But we have the greatest military ever in the world, as they cut food stamps and welfare as we never knew it, and the streets are populated heavy with veterans, and war comes home in form of mass shootings mixed with mass suicide, when whole country is ground to bits, and the death cult been trolling us for a half century just keeps on piling on. Ha ha ha! Here's a talking point at your throat. Here's another one, hot off the wing, not hate propaganda machine. And look at us with innocent eyes. What could bother you? You don't know what's in our hearts. Oh, in our hearts where we never go, holding on to something so deep in our hearts. We're there. We're connected. We're all one thing. Inextricably, us connected to them. Bookends. Can't have one without the other. Okay, and I got a little Dutch song for you here. The avondsun valt over straten en pleinen, de gouden zon zakt in de stad. En mensen die mogen een huizen verwijnen, sie hebben de tag weer gehad. De nieuwe reclame niet niks lang ramen, het moet brengen zakjes op straat. De stad like a sterven, klinkt er muziek uit en door nog wide open staat. Daar in de kleine café aan de haven, daar zijn de mensen gelijk en tevreden. Daar in de kleine café aan de haven, daar telt je geld wie je bent niet meer mee. De top van kopper, dat klinkt er geen loper. De voetbalclub hangt aan de muur. Maar het glas is gespoeld en het kelters of water, yet is there een heel good café. Daar in het kleine café aan de haven. Daar zijn de mensen gelijk en tevreden. Daar in het kleine café aan de haven. Daar telt je geld of wie je bent niet meer mee. De wereldproblemen die zijn tussen twee glassen bier opgelost voor altijd. Op de rand van een bierfles staat er je rekening of je staat in het krijt. Het enige wat je aan eten kan krijgen, dat is daar een hardgekookt ei. De mensen die zijn gelukkig gewoon, ja, de mensen die zijn er not blij. Daar in de kleine café aan de haven, daar zijn de mensen gelijk en tevreden. Daar in de kleine café aan de haven, daar telt je geld of wie je bent niet meer mee. Daar telt je geld of wie je bent niet meer mee. Thanks, folks.
I think you have fans even speaking to you in the chat in Dutch. So that's impressive. So I'm going to bring us back to start, pass and go. Each of you pocket $200. Thanks to everyone who's come here to participate or just come here to listen. I don't know if he's going to the garden or coming back from the garden. It's hard to tell. He's a man in motion, even on the mic. But I don't know if Bill has anything to say or anything to show us, but I'll give him a chance to do that right now.
Hear the buzzing of bees, standing here beneath the pink and glorious apple trees. Do you hear them buzzing? They're everywhere. They're happy and they're fruitful. Soon we'll be covered with apples and plums, everything that's wonderful. My public Idaho is here. It's glorious. It's free. Look at what we have to spend. Look at our wonderful world. Everything is here for us. We are the most fortunate people who have ever lived in the world. Oh my God, I am so happy with what we have. If only we could share it with our friends. Why cannot we reach out to our friends? Why cannot all of us share what we have with each other and care for them? I don't know. I don't understand. We do what we can. The world goes past us. Huh. Ah, well. We have what we have and we have to work with it. We have no choices. We can't get rid of the people in the country that we don't like. Sure, they're scoundrels, but they are our scoundrels. They think the same of us, I must remind you. And who is right? But for the moment, I will tell you, it is the bees. It is the bees. It is the bees. Listen to them. I hope you could hear my bees.
Thank you, Bill. Because John's on the line, I wanted to yell, not the bees, but for the sake of everyone else who won't get that joke, I will hold back. So coming up next, one of our more reserved voices is coming back for a second round. I'm going to unmute her right now. So Laurel Lambert, get ready. Laurel Lambert, you are unmuted. So let's bring our first phone participant back around for the second round of the round robin. Laurel, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, then you're up.
Ready, set, go. I am walking the road to the in-between. Unclean voices. Telepathy. Voices that I hear in my stomach. 9 when I was 18. 1 now that I'm 52. Run, 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 run! I used to be in love with Keith Richards. Going cross country on a bus with my boyfriend when I was in my 20s. North Carolina, stopover, back to Massachusetts. The next day, the manager exchanged my ticket and my boyfriend's ticket because I didn't have my medication. Drugs, drugs, drugs. I love comedy. So many goodbyes. So many goodbyes. So many goodbyes. Hello, I love you. Won't you tell me your name? Don't you ever about me? Wanna be her daddy? This is the end, my beautiful friend. My brother says I am tone deaf. He cannot stand to hear me sing. Sometimes in the early morning hours, I lay in my double bed, iron frame, and sing. Sing to God, God above, who I love. But no, they said I couldn't be a nun. And I couldn't take the schooling to be a priest. Alone, alone, alone I stand. And my cat just sits and stares at me. Thank you.
Thank you, Laurel. Much jazz hands and clapping over here, virtual clapping over here. And let's see who we have next. Oh, if Jan Rowe is ready for a second round, she can come, but if she's holding back, she's gonna hold, no, not this round. Okay.
No.
So let us move now to, hi, Jeff, good to see you. We'll get you on the mic. Let's welcome up next, Mr. Magister Galt, Mr. Ed Galt himself.
Thank you. So this one's called Edgewood Drive-in 1967. My grandfather ran a drive-in, and that's what this is about, and my visits to him at the drive-in. Okay, Edgewood Drive-in 1967. I can't remember which one it was now. maybe Cinderella, or maybe Snow White. It was the one with the elves, or maybe it was the one where the birds delivered her veil. I wasn't watching the feature film, but kicking up the dust in the playground where I fell off the roundabout and scraped my knee. I saw my granddad in the projection room, where he gave me a band-aid, but I was in and out all night between the playground, the concession stand, and the projection room, which had the most intrigue for a boy of 5, with its big machines and alien tools. My granddad had met Rock Hudson once, but Rock Hudson didn't get to hang out in the projection room. Only I could. Then there were the greasy fries. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Magister Goat. Let us see if Mr. Chris Fitzgerald is able to unmute himself and participate one last time in the second round. You're coming in a little broken up. I don't know if you need to move to a different place.
I'm not clear at all.
Okay, you're clear now.
Okay. I mean, you can't understand my work from screen postures. Hollywood's made us all in the sex toys from 5 to 70. So this one's called Don't Buy Judy Bond Clothes. This is at the second seat, first row. My pal Tommy sat in the last seat, first row. We were right philosophic about the conditions of the world.
Chris, you might want to, oh, he's gone again. He should be back in another 5 seconds. There he is.
Why Superman shot and killed himself. One day, this little girl who sat in the first seat, second row, and was wearing a cotton dress. All the girls wore cotton dresses. Cotton was still king. I guess the Southern cotton mills were still booming after the war. And I remember going downtown Boston Saturday morning with my mother outside Raymond's, the working class stronghold, outside Jordan Marsh, outside Filene's would be union activists, New York accents, giving out free shopping bags on the sides of which read, "Don't buy Judy Bond clothes." We had no idea who this Judy Bond was. Thinking back of it now, probably some scab out from the Carolinas trying to keep the union.
Be back again.
And had smooth to contemplate. Mantle, Maris, Cash, Carvito, Superman became back burner items. At the end of the day, Tommy and I let it be known to the school, but we sympathized with the unfortunate accident. All in all, it had been rather a pleasant day. And I said, it's the Judy Bond just responsible for the problem in the phrase. Doesn't your mother read the size of shopping bags? I have never heard of a mother who didn't read. She smiled. For the rest of the no way do I belittle her.
Screen share.
Yeah, no kidding. Except he doesn't do that.
Screen.
I'm just gonna.
I'll have him email it to you and you read it.
He's out. Okay, thank you so much, Chris, wherever you may be. We are moving through the list. Our next person up is Kathleen Hulser, if she wishes to go again.
Okay. Let's see. I got a little thing called vertigo. Vertigo. Even is overrated. Faced with creativity, it's bent and slanted. Vertigo is a valued companion for precarious life. The sour stomach sloshing as torso teeters on its arc from 11 to 1 o'clock. Upright and vertigo get along okay, at least while bracing against the risk of a 10 or 2. Vertigo favors open collars, whereas upright leans to buttoned up. Rubber soles and thick tread help too, whether or not 45 is your best angle. Thank you.
Thanks, Kathleen. And up next, the inimitable Mr. John Wesick.
Hi, Chad. So there is some kind of law that if you're a poet, you must write a poem about these words or groups of animals, like murder of crows, crash of rhinos, tower of giraffes. And so here is my humble offering. It's called A Genocide of Passenger Pigeons. A vandalism of oak trees, an arson of bark beetles, a larceny of locusts, a holocaust of buffalo, a trespass of fire ants, an assault of killer bees, a shoplift of scallops, burglary of tuna, a forgery of flounder, counterfeit of sole, identity theft of sea bass, an extortion of Ebola. A conspiracy of vultures, a campaign of tapeworms, political action committee of ticks, a sedition of bullfrogs, perjury of cicadas, a congress of skunks, a corruption of eagles.
Very nice. And let's keep the energy going and bring it over to Jillian Powers.
The world is a beautiful place. The world is a beautiful place to be born into, if you don't mind happiness not always being some very much fun, if you don't mind a touch of hell now and then, just when everything is fine, because even in heaven, they don't sing all the time. The world is a beautiful place to be born into, if you don't mind some people dying all the time, or maybe only starving some of the time, which isn't half so bad if it isn't you. Oh, the world is a beautiful place to be born into, if you don't much mind a few dead minds in higher places, or a bomb or two now and then in your upturned faces, or such other improprieties as our name brand society is prey to with its men of distinction and its men of extinction and its priests and other patrol men and its various segregations and congressional investigations and other constipations that our fool flesh is heir to. Yes, the world is the best place of all for a lot of such things as making the fun scene and making the love scene and making the sad scene and singing low songs of having inspirations and walking around looking at everything and smelling flowers and goosing statues and even thinking and kissing people and making babies and wearing pants and waving hats and dancing and going swimming in rivers or on picnics in the middle of the summer and just generally living it up. Yes, but then right in the middle of it comes the smiling mortician. Thanks. That was Ferlinghetti.
A couple people guessed correctly in the chat. It was a mortuary of muskrats. Sorry, people are still playing the are still playing the grouping animals game in the chat. I think Ed Galt put a political action committee of mosquitoes. So. People submit your favorite. You submit your own favorite created animal pack name. We'll see if we can petition it to the dictionaries, to Webster's by the end of the year. See if we can make it a thing. Whoops! Someone else has one more. A pile of poets. Everyone knows that one. Thank you for playing, Bill. Let's see who we have next. I'm going to, because we had one or two people either end abruptly or bow out from the second round. First, I'm going to have Carol Weston, then we're going to have Jeff Taylor. But first, I'm going to unmute her now. And let's bring in Carol Weston.
Okay, one of the shortest. Scarred child, the tough blister of your skin keeps out all love and locks the being in. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol Weston. And now we're going to bring us to Jeff Taylor, who hosts the Poet's Garage. God, I'm forgetting the actual name of your reading series, but it takes place just about every Friday night. It's both live and it also can be. Oh yeah, Jeff is not in his garage. John yells. Too true.
No.
The Garage Poets reading. So he's out of the garage, but he'll be back in it, I believe, this Friday to host another reading, which is perfect to kick off Memorial Day. So
yeah, we go.
So let's hear his words. Since you missed the first round, and a couple of people are not reading, if you want to go a little long, you can, sir.
Oh, thank you, Chad. Yeah, we go every Friday, the Garage Poets open mic. Here I can drop the event link for this Friday there in the chat. We will be actually at the Walnut Street Cafe this Friday, so it's a hybrid. Nice. We're hybrid this Friday. Once a month we're hybrid, and then the other 3 weeks we're online only. But this is the hybrid week at the Walnut Street Cafe in Lynn. So you can join us via Zoom, or if you come to 357 Walnut Street in Lynn, then you can come and see us live, whichever way you want to do it. But so today I got my bike out today and I went for a bike ride. Me and my daughter, she scootered and I rode my bike. Over the pandemic, this very bike was stolen from me, and I was able to get it back, and which was pretty exciting. And I have a poem about that, and I'll share that poem with you now. It's called Skill Set. When my vintage single-speed road bike with custom wood fenders was stolen out of my garage, I called the cops to make a report, then again to tell them a random internet ninja had found my bike for sale online. The cops said they will only intervene if I trick the thieves into selling me my bike back. So I set up a fake account for fake Tom Reed and enlisted the help of a few friends who wanted to try adding being internet ninjas to their skill sets. Ryan came in over asking, hoping to outbid any current offers. Warren made a lowball offer, said he wanted it for parts. The thieves accepted Ryan's offer, so now the cops wanted to be police, but being cops is their only skill set. Officer Friendly asks us to stay back while they pretend to be us, waiting to make the exchange, but having spent the past few months in COVID lockdown while the nation was on fire with George Floyd's murder, has not left us with the mindset to stay back while some militarized undercover cop tells people he is us. As we approached the address the thieves gave us, the place was swarming with so many plainclothes cops. It looked like a gun nut militia flash mob might go off at any moment. Driving around to surveil the area, Ryan and I saw someone who was definitely not me cruise by on my bike. Pulling over across from definitely not me, he asked if we were there to buy the bike I've owned for 20 years. The militia flash mob member behind us was waving his badge and looking at me strangely because I was excitedly jumping up and down instead of yelling, "Get on the ground." He thinks we are militia flash mob members too, but our only loyalty is to the slightly beat up physical representation of my personality. Adjusting the fit of our masks as we pulled away with my bike, we realized being cops was not in our skill sets. Neither is being a hero. That was skill set. Yeah, definitely please come and join us at the Garage Poets open mic every Friday. Yeah. Thanks a lot.
We'll do our best to do that, and I'll post a link. So thank you so much, Jeff. And check out the link that you did post if you guys are so inclined.
Yeah, Shockey is our feature this week.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Shockey's a great poet, up and comer from Ohio, and definitely worth coming and check out.
Very nice. Thank you, Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
And now our penultimate speaker for the second round. Let's bring up the host of the Human Room Open Mic Forum. Let's bring up Mr. CCR Chagra.
Okay, all right, thank you. I'll put a little link to the event thing. I just first time in over a year I put up the Facebook event page prior to just before it, and when I did so, I titled it with the button that says "Repeat from before." So it's for June 12th, Sunday at 4 o'clock. I'll put that link in there, regardless of what the title says. I'm going to read two little ones from a manuscript that is now on its third title. God Stories and Poetry Information. These are two little ones from there. Between the quietude of noise and flowers of thought's blooming beauty, the poetry of thought comes to mind. Waves between awake and asleep, consciousness as honesty, where there is only listening here, beyond knowing. Trust is a frequency we still may share. And another one. When the truth teaches you your humility's own, this will make you happy, beyond cause of harm. This silence will make you happy. The peace will let all wars not be yours. You can leave the mind that taught you to live where realities lie, where hate belongs to fists, all afraid to open. All fear chooses to never see the omnicide of self. That's it. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, CC. And
Oh, one more thing. If you can't go, at least hit the interested so that I can keep you posted on if I redo the page and it's got a new name and
Gotcha.
all that whole thing. Thank you.
Okay. And closing us out for the night, another thanks to Oddball's columnist. I can't wait to get his new work tonight. So to post it tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. Let's welcome up Mr. James Van Looy.
Thanks, Chad. So I've got a poem here. It's called Into the Setting Sun. The last night we were in Rome, Italy. I've been reading 2 guidebooks with maps, one in English and the other Dutch, lost in the overwhelming plethora of churches until finally I read about St. Giovanni's, the actual seat of the Bishop of Rome, who is, of course, now the Pope, who officially resides in the Vatican but goes out on scheduled visits to the 7 different cathedrals and basilicas. So I walk all the way down to the Wall of Trajan through a rather rough neck of the Roman hoods with folk out with blowtorches, welding cars, and beggars with arsenal of fundraising techniques besieging the way down the hill to the wall. And around the square hall of Lateran Palace of Bureaucracy, I see in center the biggest Egyptian obelisk I've yet seen, looming above me across the street. I can still see how exquisite its hieroglyphs, sitting in front of the place Constantine originally established his first Christian cathedral for a faith that had been hiding in people's homes and the catacombs. A persecuted minority suddenly become favored faith. Under this sign you will conquer, a mutual aid society, suddenly become official dogma, and only later, after I turned past St. Helen's, that is Constantine's mother, Holy Basilica of the Sacred Cross of Jerusalem, into the setting sun over the Colosseum. As I walk, I will find out that Constantine originally ordered the obelisk brought to Rome, and his son then put it in the Circus Maximus as pylon marker for the chariot races, where it fell over when the city was left in ruins when the empire collapsed, until 1,000 years later, Pope Sixtus V put it up in front of St. Giovanni Cathedral. And it actually is one of the largest Egyptian sun god obelisks ever found, standing now over almost half a millennium in front of the church of the seat of the Bishop of Rome, aka the Pope. And here's the song that goes with it. The empire's over. It's time to call it a day. They burst your pretty balloon and stolen the moon away. It's time to give up that masquerade. Just make your mind up. The piper must be paid. Empire's over. Its candles flicker and dim. You danced and you dreamed through the night. It seemed to be right, just being with them. Now you must wake up, all dreams must end. Take off your makeup. Empire's over, it's so over, my friend. Now you must wake up, all dreams must end. Take off your makeup, the empire's over. It's so over, my friend. Empire's over. And you know, when the people who've been telling us for the last 50 years, if we don't like it, we should get out and go home, are exactly the ones who are now taking down the empire by having almost daily mass shootings. Thank you.
Thank you, James. Is the empire over yet? Hopefully by tomorrow. I'll check the news. But tonight's Stone Soup is coming to an end, and I'm so glad to have spent the last 4 weeks of this anniversary month with a great deal of you people, and hoping to have announcements for what's going on for the summer. I will be going away for part of June and July. Whether or not I'll be able to hold Stone Soup in another country, and whether or not my girlfriend will kill me if I try to do that on our vacation is a whole other matter. So we'll probably have to take some time off. It'll be closer to July 4th anyway, when we would usually take time off. So that should be fine.
What other country, Chad? Where are you going?
France, and my girlfriend's going to Italy after that because that's where her daughter is going to go. So it's a bit of a world tour, and you might actually see me in another venue. So I make no promises because I've only started to make the inroads. So we'll see what happens. At the very least, I'll be in the audience somewhere and can take a picture and have a nice little literary France experience. Thanks to
Do you know the Angora poets that meet in Paris?
I have links. Yep.
Okay. All right.
But so hopefully we'll have, thanks to David Leo Seurat, hopefully we'll have some, hopefully I'll have some nice news for that. But for now, it is time to say goodbye and hope and wish me the best of lucks and good vibes for tomorrow, as I hope to speak with 2 different venue heads in terms of scheduling at least 1 date per month in both these locations, and I will let you know how that goes as soon as I know anything. The minute we can set a date, we'll have some. We'll be having people. We'll be having people scheduled, and we'll be having dates and times and flyers put out. So I can't wait. Can't wait to actually list a normal date, and hopefully we'll have a way to link it online as well at the same time with my new iPad. That should not be a problem. So with that, I bid you all a fond adieu to practice my trip to France. So we are out tonight. Time for the wave from wherever you are, Boston, outside of Boston, somewhere in the middle of Idaho. Have yourselves a very good night. Have yourselves the best of nights. And I will hopefully talk to you all very soon. Peace out and happy 51st to everyone. Check out the 31 days of Stone Soup stuff. I'm keeping that hashtag going. I'm uncovering a bunch of stuff from Stone Soup's old days. A lot of different poets. I found a poet who was published in, I think, the 80s and is still being published today through Igneous Press. So I'm excited to uncover these names and find their relationship to Stone Soup. So more exciting stuff coming. Have yourself a good night. And
are we on for next week? Are we on for next week?
Should be on for next week.
Okay.
I'll let you know more. Take care of yourselves. See you soon. The show's over.
Bye all. Thank you, everyone.
See you.